Hey, 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 hey. What is going on, my good people? My energy is a tad bit low because I'm back to working out. And the get back is definitely what's important. But the sidebar of that is how much pain your behind be in when you're getting back. Oh, it drives me crazy. So my legs are killing me, my arms are killing me, my back is killing me, and everything else is killing me. But I promise you guys that I would stay on schedule. I will put out this content consistently, and I did not want to BS y'all, right? So I'm back with the big it up, big it up, big it up. Dear Dijah, dear Dijah, dear Dijah. Yes, but before I get started, first let's get into this healing hearts. Let's get into everything just mad healing hearts ish around here. Okay, big apparel. Okay, big backdrop. Like, just really, really good healing hearts over here. Like, oh God, I have no more apparel at the moment, but I'm gonna do a restock. I'm gonna do a restock because I want to get some more different colors. I want to play with the logo a little more. I want to get some Dear Dijah stuff because all of my lovely friends, they treat me so good. They treat me so good. So I have like only now 2 Dear Dijah glasses, and they're wine glasses because my friends know me so well. But I'm going to look into getting more Dear Dijah. So like I want to get me some Dear Dijah apparel because Dear Dijah is really like skyrocketing. Dear Dijah's taking off. Dear Dijah's getting lit. Dear Dijah's where it's at, and it's so crazy because I was struggling with choosing a video, right? I was struggling. Choosing the letter. I'm sorry. Choosing the letter. I went through all the subjects because, again, I tell you guys, I do not read these letters prior to reading them on camera because I don't like to think so much about my response because then it's going to come off a little disingenuous and that's going to aggravate me. So for me, I would rather read them along with you so I can give you genuine responses. And I like that in the moment, real time type of thing because it shows just how genuine I am, right? And it's also because when I started this, I said that I started it because a lot of folks would say to me like, oh, I want to come do a healing heart session, but I'm afraid, right? And I would be like, what are you afraid of? Like, it's nothing to be afraid of, but I do get some folks' apprehension about, okay, I don't know if I want to share everything with you. I don't know what your feedback is going to be, especially for folks who already know my personality. I'm kind of a straight shooter, but in the healing heart space, I'm a little bit different than I am in real life, only because, I have to treat the situation like I don't know you personally. I don't know what you're sharing with me before right now. You know what I'm saying? So you get a little bit more compassionate and patient me because I have to kind of assess what's going on and so on and so forth. So for me, when people book healing heart sessions, I don't say to them, well, tell me what happened beforehand and then when you get to the session, we'll talk. No, they just telling me everything in real time and they're getting my responses in real time. And that's why I do the Dear Dijah the way I do it. Because if I read it beforehand, then I'm going to be going off a little bullet points and I'd have had too much to think into this and look into this and really, really funnel through it in my head and, kind of, no. I don't want to do all of that. I want to give you my genuine response. And in all fairness, sometimes I've looked at videos and said, oh my God, you forgot to say so-and-so. Oh my God, that wasn't the right thought. Why'd you say that? And even though I'm annoyed about it in the moment, it teaches me how to improve doing what I do, right? So it lets me know, okay, you need to get better in this part, you need to get better with this, so on and so forth. Maybe you need to project a little bit more loudly. Maybe you need to move back from the camera some. The number one thing that I'm trying to teach myself, and y'all help me out with this, please. That is why I have the headband on. I'm trying not to play with my hair. Because when I went back and I watched maybe like my last 3 videos, and I tried to watch, not the last 3 that I put out back to back, but like 3 where I had different hairstyles in each one, and I see, aside from all of this hand movement, which I'm going to work on, that playing in my hair is a distraction. I know it distracted me when I was watching the video, because normally when I play back the videos after I put it up and stuff, and I play it back and watch it just as you guys, I only listen to it. So I have my AirPod on and I'm doing everything else. But the other day I actually sat down and watched it. And I seen how much of a distraction it is for me to keep touching my freaking hair. So I'm going to really, 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 really make a conscious effort to stop doing that, because I do not want to distract you guys from what is coming out my mouth, because what I feel like I'm saying is very, very important. And it's also because I want you guys to get the feel of what a healing heart session will look like, because I want you guys to come and have some. You know, I'm all about the healing. I'm all about the healing. So let me take a little sip. Tonight I'm drinking Uncle Tito. So it's Tito's and ginger ale. Like I said, I turned 40 in February. 99.9% of my drinks are chased with ginger ale, because I need something to level it out. I'm getting old. Alcohol ain't hitting me as slowly and as nicely as it used to. It's punching me in the gut, stab me in the chest, and I'm like, oh Lord, I'm toe up. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta kind of scale back. I predict eventually I won't even drink no more. I'll probably scale into wine as I get a little bit older, and then I'll probably abolish alcohol altogether. And not because, you know, just because it's not always that great for your, I play with my hair, it's not always that great for your health. And also, I just don't have as much fun doing it as I used to when I was younger. And then on top of that, like, as you age, you definitely want to take better care of your health. Right? So, okay, so let's get started, because we are 6 minutes and I don't want to hold you guys. Get your drinks. Get your drinks. Get your drinks. Do I have to give you a few minutes? Get your drink. Get your drinks. Before I do anything, if you're just stumbling upon this video on a whim, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Please make sure you go and watch the content on my channel. Please make sure you like whatever content you actually like on my channel. Please make sure you comment under things that you think need feedback. Please make sure you share my channel with everybody under the sun. I talk about a lot of controversial topics. Weigh in on them. Like, let me know what you guys think, because I don't want to just be here running my mouth for no reason. I want this to actually penetrate, because the healing work is very important to me. So share it with everybody you know, everybody under the sun. If things resonate with you, record them, post them, tag me. Let me give you guys my social media sites. So my Instagram is Operation Heal 100 Hearts with an S on IG. My personal IG is born_bossy. So that's BORN_BOSS 4 Y's. Y. Okay, my Facebook is Khadijah Allen. All of you know that. And I have two Facebooks. You'll see a Khadijah Allen, which is my personal Facebook. And then you'll see Khadijah BDAJSK Allen, which is my Facebook for my young folks. You know who I work with. I like to have access to them, and social media is the way to have access to folks. Okay? So please, please, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me hear your feedback. DM me, text me, do whatever you need to do so I can get to you. Also, the email address is Operation Heal 100 Hearts. OPERATION, heal, HEAL, the number 100, hearts, HEART with an S at gmail.com. Okay? Okay, so let me take one more sip and we're going to get this letter read. All right? And I know you guys are looking for me to do another one of my unpopular opinion videos. I'm going to get that out because I have some things to discuss. Okay, so here we go, right? Oh, let me put my glasses on because I turned 40 in February. Whatever. Right? Okay, so this Dear Dijah says, Dear Dijah, I found out about you because you're my mom's friend on Facebook, and in her head, y'all are friends in real life. Y'all are friends in real life. LOL. Anyway, when I heard her talking about your YouTube, I tuned in. I am a 20-year-old male who has just had his first sexual encounter with another man. If I'm being honest, it was cool and I enjoyed it. My problem is I don't only want to sleep with men. I am sexually attracted to and I fantasize about women as well. I'm not at all confused about my sexuality. I'm bisexual. But what I am is afraid. Afraid of what my Jamaican family will feel or do should I decide to share this news. I'm very close with my parents, but I do not see my dad accepting me for who I am, and I believe that my mom will follow his lead. I don't want to hide who I am, but I also don't want to lose who I have. What should I do? Please help. Signed, a Bumbaclot Bisexual. Oh, okay. Okay. 20 years old. To be 20 again, right? Which was 20 years ago. Unbelievable, right? Okay, let's get into the nooks and the crannies of this situation. So, let me give my disclaimer like, oh, let me take this glass so because I see the reflection. Let me give my disclaimer like I always have to do. I am not a parent. I am not a biological parent. I have a stepson. I have a host of nieces and nephews. I have a host of extended children from my job, from, my friends' children. I have godchildren, but me personally, did not give birth and I am not a biological parent. So, a lot of my feedback will only come from a space of what I assume the experience is like and also how I've been parented, right? So I'm going to speak from the space of being a kid myself and also what I assume other parents do to, navigate their parental experience and also what I think I would do should I have my own children, right? So, okay, don't play with the hair, Khadij. You only get one flip per scene, right? Okay. So let me first say this, right? You said in the beginning of the letter that you found out about my YouTube channel and what I do because your mom and I are friends on Facebook. So that lets me know that you and your mom have a close relationship. That lets me know that you have a close relationship because if she's sharing with you things that she's seeing on social media and y'all having these type of discussions, and normally that's for folks who have a close relationship, because if not, it would just be like, I didn't even know you knew my mother, like that type of thing, right? So the fact that you guys are having that type of conversation lets me know that y'all have a good relationship, you and mom at least, right? You didn't share that you and dad have a bad one. So I'm left to assume that you guys have a good one as well, right? Take a little sip. I was raised in a two-parent household, and one of my parents was American and the other one was Panamanian, right? So I'm a little familiar, no, a lot familiar with the West Indian culture. I cannot say that I know everything about Jamaicans per se, because again, my dad was Panamanian. So some of his things may some of his structure or things of that nature may kind of sort of differ from how Jamaicans do things, but I don't think it strays away that far. Right? So let me just say this, right? All parents love extremely hard, especially their children. They love extremely hard, right? West Indians love extremely hard as well as with any other parent, but they also parent extremely structured because they've had another experience from another country. So 9 times out of 10, West Indian parents are coming to the United States and they're feeling like, what is going on here? So because they feel that way, they want to, grab their kids and, make sure they have the structure from what they had back in their country, because the structure in the West Indian countries are a lot of different from the structure here in the States, right? So they definitely want to kind of say, listen, no, this is what we're doing. This is how you're moving. This is where we're going. This is what's going on, right? In that structure, we can never doubt that they love us. We can never doubt that they love us, because I will say this, right now, my pops has been going, I want to say it's going to be 17 years this year, if I'm not mistaken, right? And what I can say about my father is we had a little, like I always tell you, I was a little tumultuous because he was parenting and I didn't want to be parented that way. But I didn't want to be parented that way because I'm growing up in the United States. So I'm watching how all of my American friends' parents are parenting. And I feel like, Dad, you're being too structured, too mean, too strict, too annoying, too overprotective, too overbearing, when not realizing that he was just providing a structure that I would benefit from as an adult, and he knew this, right? So I'm almost sure, your parents love you. They love you to death. They love you to no avail. I know sometimes they may be a little strict. I know sometimes they may be a little overbearing, but I could imagine they love you to no avail, right? Because of that love, right? I know that parents want their child's first call, their first contact, their first reach out, their first stretch, their first anything to be to them. Because I want you to know that no matter what happens in this world, I love you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to have your back. So when everything is falling apart, I don't need you to say, don't call my mother, don't call my father. I need you to say, no, call them. Matter of fact, call them before you call anybody else. Right? So if you have a part of your identity, right, that you don't think your parents will be comfortable about, that's one conversation. But to say that they won't be accepting of it is another. Right? And I'm not going to lie. You saying that it hurt me. It hurt me for you feeling that way. Not to necessarily say that that's what it's going to be, because as you say, you haven't shared it with your family yet. But it just hurt me that you would feel like your parents would be anything other than accepting and loving of you. You know, it's one thing to say I did something that, stop touching my hair. It's one thing to say that I did something that my parents didn't agree with. I did something that might have a little disappointed my parents. I did something that even hurt my parents and maybe even broke their heart, depending on what the situation is. But at the end of the day, and my mom makes sure to reiterate this to me every single day. As a matter of fact, she said it to me yesterday, and I'm 40 years old. You can always come home. You can always come home. You can always come home. I don't care how messed up it is. I don't care how messed up you've been. I don't care what you've done. I don't care who you've hurt. I don't care who you've wronged. You can always come home. So, and home is home. Home is where the love is. Home is where the acceptance is. Home is where everything that nurtures you is. So you can never, ever, ever have a situation in your life that is so big that will cause your parents to not nurture, accept, and love on you. Right? But I have to be very honest and pay attention to the letter, because you did say that you think that your dad wouldn't be accepting. So I kind of want to get in the meat and potatoes of that, so we can kind of have some real conversation about what this looks like, how you can roll this out, if you can roll this out, when you can roll this out, and have the rollout be successful, right? So let me start off by saying, or asking, even though this is like rhetorical because you can't answer me, but first off, assessing what type of man your father is, which I'm pretty sure you're clear on what type of man he is. But also understanding that he could be that type of man with the rest of the world. What type of father is he with you? Has there been instances in the past where he showed you that he wouldn't accept you or he wouldn't support you? Because I remember having this conversation with a young person I worked with, and same type of conversation. And it was like, well, I don't want to say anything because anytime those type of people, that's how the young person phrased it, came up on a television screen, meaning folks that's of the LGBTQ plus community, came up on a television screen, or we walked past them in the street, my mom would always have a comment, because this was her mom, she was saying at the time, my mom would always have a comment about them and so on and so forth. So I feel like if I share something with my mom, she'll treat me how she treats them. And that's why I asked you about what I asked you about regarding what type of father is your dad to you. Because it's one thing situations he may have seen outside of the family union. So maybe he's seen it in a colleague and their child, or maybe he's seen it on TV, or maybe even he's seen it with a relative and their child. That does not mean the response that he would have with those folks is the response that he would have with his own child. It may be something totally different when he's in it. Case in point, you heard what I said a little while ago. I said, I'm giving my response off of what I think might happen. I'm giving my response on what I think I may do as a parent. I'm giving my response on what I think could happen in that experience. But I can't really give a genuine response until I've actually been in that experience, right? So that's the same thing for your dad. It's like he may have given responses in other places, or he may have even flat out said, because I've heard parents who said this too, oh, if it was my child, I would abolish, and so on and so forth. You get that. But that's also those folks saying it without having actually experiencing it. So if you have heard certain things from your dad, or certain things have been said within the family union about others that makes you feel like, wow, if it was me, I would be in trouble and this is what would happen. I think that you should not draw from those experiences, because again, that could be the case because your dad is not in the experience. Because 9 times out of 9, if your dad knows that there is something that contributes to your identity, to who you are, to a part of your makeup, no matter what, he cannot stop loving you. He cannot stop loving you. He cannot stop loving you. And love is a verb. It is an action word. Okay? So if somebody loves you, no matter how much they may try not to let it, it's going to show up in their behaviors. It's going to show up in their behaviors. So if your dad loves you, which he cannot stop, you're biologically his child. That's just by default. He loves you. Then he's not going to automatically stop loving you once he finds out something that he might not agree with. Because again, we don't know for a fact if he doesn't agree with it. At least I don't know. Right? What you shared was that's what you think happened. But you didn't share some of the reasons why you thought he didn't agree with it, if that's what it is. Right? So I don't see him waking up and saying, you know what? Put my son out, and I don't want a business with him, and I'm done with him, and because is that realistic? Is it realistic for your dad to be done with you? Is it realistic for your mom to be done with you? So I think that, you feeling like you won't be accepted is you being apprehensive and nervous about what you're sharing. And again, I'm almost sure it comes from something. I know you're not just saying this for no reason. You may have heard something, or, heard something in your family, or something happened with a cousin, or something of that nature to make you lean towards that, right? But at the end of the day, it has not happened yet. It has not happened, and you cannot predict the future. You cannot predict the future. You cannot say what's going to take place. Another thing is, I want to speak a little bit on, the need to be accepted, right? Don't get me wrong. We as a people, hold on, let me take a sip. We as a people, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're my girl Beyonce. I don't care who you are. We as a people all want to fit in somewhere, right? We all want to fit in somewhere. Now, all of us have different spaces that we want to fit in, but we all want to fit in somewhere, right? So there's nothing wrong with you wanting from your parents, because that is the number one place you should want to fit in, right? Is with your family. There's nothing wrong from you wanting from your parents to be accepted. But let me be clear when I say this. As long as you accept and love yourself, you will only attract folks who do the same for you. Right? Let me reiterate that. As long as you accept and love yourself, you will only attract folks who do the same for you. Right? I would never in this lifetime encourage a child to, disconnect from any family member. Because I think we all need people, and family especially, right? Because that's who God gave us. But you cannot make people do what they don't want to do. And you can't bear the burden of what other folks feel, right? So again, it would be a lovely, beautiful thing. And I'm anticipating this happening, that your parents open their arms and embrace you and say, sweetheart, no matter who you are and no matter what you do, you're my baby and I love you. So I accept every part of you. But in any event that you get, not just your parents, but any family member or friend that cannot accept and love you, you have to remain consistent in doing it for yourself. Because as long as you do that, is as long as you attract folks who will do the same for you. Who will do the same for you and to you. Because if not, let me give you the flip side of that. If not, if you do not accept and love you, you will only attract folks who do not accept and love you as well. And the only thing they will do to you in turn is abuse you. And that's one of the things that you do not want to be the burden of. That's not one of the things you want to be on the receiving end of. I talk a lot with folks about coping mechanisms. A lot of people drink excessively. A lot of people smoke excessively. A lot of people do things to harm their body. A lot of people do things to harm their mental health because they're being abused in some regard somewhere else. And I don't believe that folks deserve to be abused, but I also believe that you have a choice to not allow it. And I think a lot of times we as people, we welcome that energy because we're showing up giving that energy off. So I feel like I could disrespect you because I can see you don't respect yourself. So why would I hold you in any high regard? You don't hold yourself in any high regard. So that's what I mean by making sure that you love and accept yourself no matter what the outcome of the situation. It's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with you. We all have our sexual preferences, right? We all have what's a part of our identity, right? That makes us who we are. We all have something to contribute to the world. Who we are is important. Who we are is enough. Who we are is special. Who we are is unique. So once you start, allowing outside entities to make you feel a way about who you are, then you start to lose who you are. You start to minimize who you are. You start to deplete who you are. And then on top of that, you attract folks that would do the same. You do not want that. You do not want that, because then the coping mechanisms of having to deal with that abuse will be so detrimental that it could possibly kill you. Right? So I know I got a little deep there, but I really, really want you to understand what we're discussing here, because this is serious. What I love that you said in your letter, and I'll say it again, is I'm bisexual. You said I'm not at all confused about my sexuality. I'm bisexual. You're clear on that. You put it in capital letters. That means you're crystal on who you are. It's okay. It's okay to be that. It's okay for everybody to be who they are. And it's okay for you to go out in the world and be that no matter who is not accepting of it. As long as you are accepting and loving of it yourself. And I promise you, once your parents understand that this is who you are and this is who you're happy being. Because that's another thing. All parents want for their children is for them to be happy. That's it. All that other stuff is smoke-filled mirrors. Okay? That's all that is. The only genuine thing that parents want for their children is to be happy. It's to be genuinely, wholeheartedly happy. And whatever that looks like for their kid, as long as they're happy in it, a parent will be okay with that. They could go to their grave fine, knowing that my kid was happy. My kid is happy, was happy. That's all parents want to raise, is happy children. So if you being bisexual makes you happy, then that's all that's going to matter to your parents. That's all that's going to matter to your parents. Now, am I saying it won't be a transition to get there? Of course. Of course. But what don't kill you only helps build you. So if you guys have to go through a little bit of muddy waters to strengthen your relationship, then by all means. Because the end result is y'all being tighter than y'all ever was. Because guess what? I'm allowed to show up in front of the people that I love the most and be who I am, which is happy, and they're accepting and loving of that. How powerful is that? How powerful is that? Right? So I'll give an example. My sister. I'm going to shout her out. My sister's name is Kalila, right? And Kalila and I are extremely close. I'm extremely close to all my siblings. I've always been, right? And my mom, I will have to watch my sister while my mom worked, right? My dad used to coach. He used to work, and then he would coach football in the evenings. And my mom worked. The hours I was in school, my mom was home, and then she worked 4 to 12, right? So I would have to watch my little sister. Now I'm 13 years, my little sister senior, right? And before I say anything, let me just say, let me shout out my sister. Kalila is the most kind-hearted, giving, loving person on the planet. The most. When I tell you the most kind-hearted, loving, giving person on the planet. She is a lot of where my womanhood comes from. Because, having to watch her while my mom was working and my dad wasn't around, he was coaching. She made me grow up. It was a lot of things that I didn't want to do in front of her, say in front of her, because I didn't want to taint her. So she made me approach womanhood in a different way because I knew I had somebody looking up at me. So shout out my sister Kalila. I love her to death. I love all my siblings, right? So anyway, because I had to mind her and I spent the most time with her, I was very observant of her. So at around maybe I want to say 12, I was like, I think my sister Kalila may be a lesbian, right? But this is just what I said in my head. I didn't reveal it, right? So then she became friends with a young lady. Ironically, the young lady name was Khadijah, right? And she just was so engulfed and engaged in this friendship, and I could see how much she idolized this young lady, and I could see that it wasn't just like, oh, this is my homegirl. I think it was something more there. I think that was her first crush, right? But I don't think she knew it. Either way, Kalila could, sorry guys. Okay, I'm playing in my head. Yeah, right, I'm wrong. Kalila could correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, that just was my assumption at the time, right? And I remember I shared it with my mom. I was like, Mom, I think that Kalila might be into women, right? So my mother was like, you think? So I was like, yeah, right? So, okay, well, I'll observe a little more. We'll see, right? So anyway, long story short, short story shorter, time progressed. She didn't reveal it at that time. Kalila went off to job corps, and then Kalila called down to the family and said, hey, y'all, I got a woman up here, and I'm in love, and I'm getting ready to drop a bomb on Facebook. Boom. We was all on the phone. She revealed the news. Okay, girl, is you coming down for daddy's birthday? Like, what else did it talk about? Like, first of all, we already assumed that. And second of all is that, what does that matter? Is being a lesbian detrimental to your health? Is it going to kill you? Is it going to get you arrested? Or are you being tortured? What's happening? Is anything happening to you because you're a lesbian other than the fact that you're being happy because you're being forthright and sharing who you really are? Sweetheart, you could be a caterpillar. Whatever you choose to be. We respect and love you for that. The only bottom line, underlying question that we will always have as your family is, are you happy? Are you happy? My sister's happy. My sister's happy. My sister's happy. My sister's, she's been happy from a little kid and as an adult and a full-fledged lesbian. My sister is happy. My family is happy because she's happy and a lesbian. That's what we're concerned about. That's our only concern. Our only concern is, are you happy? And once we know you're happy, we're happy for you, with you. We're happy for you and with you. So do I think from what you said, your parents will be a little shocked and appalled and, nervous, because you do hear things about what could happen to folks who are in that community and things of that nature. So a natural reaction will be like, oh my God, are you safe? So on and so forth. But I believe that if your parents know that you're happy, they will be happy for you and with you. Are you gonna have to go through muddy waters in the process of you guys getting to that space? Maybe. From what you shared, you think so. But in the meantime, in the between time, as long as you reiterate to your parents, I'm happy. As long as you reiterate to the world, I'm happy. As long as it shows up in who you are, you're happy. None of that other stuff matters, sweetheart. None of that other stuff matters. None of it. You wrote, I'm not confused at all about my sexuality. I'm bisexual. In capital letters. You know what that suggests to me? Right after that, you should have wrote in capital letters, I'm confident as well. Because it sounds like you sharing that right there. You were saying in bold, I'm confident about who I am. Okay, so go out into the world and be who you are. Happy. Happy. And I promise you, of course, if you want to work any further in the Healing Heart sessions, we can talk about the rollout. When, where, how, what's beneficial. Do you need to do it separately? Do you need them to be together? We can talk about all of that if you choose to have a one-on-one session. But I promise you this, and this is coming from a person who's not even a biological parent. I promise you this. If your family, not just your parents, your family knows that you are happy, they will be happy for you and with you. I promise you that. So, BB, I think I had another. Take a sip. I did. You guys go check out. It's crazy. The same type of situation. You guys go check out the Bewildered Butch. That's like maybe one of my second or third Dear Dijah videos. But I have another BB, the Bumbaclot Bisexual. Let me tell you something, sweetheart. Listen to me. And I want to project this message around the world, right? We all deserve to show up with what we have and who we are. We all deserve to do that. And we deserve to entertain and engage